Hello, Daktari.
Hi.
Happy World Kenya Red Cross Day. Is it World or?
It's World Red Cross Day.
I'd like to start by congratulating your team for the work you've been doing. We appreciate you. And I'll ask you the first question. If right now I realize the area I'm in, it's flooding, it has started to flood, it's at night, what's the first thing I should do before help comes?
You will, of course, approach it from the almost like first aid event. Make a very quick assessment. You can almost tell how long will these floods be there, or how fast is it growing. So if it's very fast, the first thing to do is to try and evacuate yourself if you can. Some of the things that you would need to be having in your house possibly is a rope, and if you don't have, then you can get to tie a number of items like even bed sheet. You can get several of them, and that can give you a good distance to be able to use where you hook up with someone else. Of course, having contacts of your neighbors and being able to reach your neighbors at all the time would be very key, because most of the rescues, then you need at least someone to be able to help you. Number two is to be able to have emergency numbers, maybe the fire brigade within your area. You could also call the Kenya Red Cross emergency number 1199, even as you make your efforts, so that then some rescue support can be extended your way. If you have an arrangement with the neighborhood and you have some ropes, then for sure this would be one way. The other one is if you're living in an area that's very prone to kind of floods, then you can have even tubes of a motor vehicle, which you can always use as a floater. You can also use an empty container, 20 liter. Just make sure that it has a lid, and you can use that to float away. If you can get even two and tie them together, then even as you walk out, if the water is really high level, then this would be good flotation device that you can quickly grab and be able to work out. Thirdly is also to know the geography of your place, because there are areas that maybe you have gullies that are deep, and that is where water will most likely accumulate fast. And if you try and swim through that kind of a section, then chances are you will lower your level of survival, because water at that point will be running fast and the levels are high.
During this period, there have been cases of buildings collapsing, and most are very random and not foreseeable. You couldn't predict it's happening. So if I find myself in such a situation, what can I do?
Well, unfortunately, yes, this is what's happening, where areas with lots of water now, waterlogging and such like. I would advise that you take it just the way you would have an incident of earthquake. You have to make a decision on two things: whether you can be able to really run out and move away from that structure. And circumstances are sometimes it's not possible to run away. In that case, of course, the best would be to advise that you go to the near outer pillars of the building, and that's why it is important to always understand how the structure looks like. Along the pillars, most often it is reinforced, and maybe in a corner, then even if it caves in, it only leaves some section that may not really get covered, and that is where you may just squat at that point with your face down. Also try to have your communication gadget at all the time. If you are able to make a call or for rescue, then at least people will be able to help. And once you've been able to, if you are lucky to be able to make the call, then also do not use a lot of effort struggling, because most of the time, even though it is wet, the cement will start peeling out and turn more of almost into dust. And the more you struggle shouting over it, then you even inhale more and you use more energy. So it's quite dynamic really, and depends on how much one has been able to have some form of drill or training in this. It's a tricky situation, but those are some of the things you can do in that circumstance.
Okay. And how can a common mwananchi like myself assist Red Cross?
There are many ways that you could help. One is to be able to register as a volunteer with the Red Cross, because then you will become the first boot on ground whenever something happens. And that's how we are able to get information on what's happening in what place, because of many volunteers that we have across the country. The other one is you could be able to donate through the Red Cross branch within where you are, and that is, we have 47 county branches across the country, and therefore going there and being able to donate, whether it is food, whether it is shelter material, whether it is water treatment, and or even supporting logistics in some cases, then this would be great. So you people will come in with various kinds of support depending on your expertise. Even as a media person, then you have you could be able to even assist as the first coordinator on site before having more experienced people get into the ground. If you want to give, for example, even cash, you could be able to also be able to do it there, or even do it on M-Pesa platform. Normally the donation line is 10,000, a pay bill 10,000, and depending on the event, for now it is floods operation, and therefore funds coming in that manner will definitely know this is the purpose for which it was being donated.
Okay, thank you so much. Any other information you'd like to give us?
Generally is people to be able to take precautions. We are living in a moment where the meteorology department is able to give good forecasts, so it's important that we follow this forecast on what is likely to happen within the areas that we live, in order to be able to plan very well. Also have emergency numbers, because the emergency service providers may not necessarily need to call you, but you will need them when you have an emergency. So the fire brigade, for example, within your area of jurisdiction, and I mean, where you live, where you work, you need to be having these numbers. Things like fires are hazards that we live with, and you need to be able to have basic firefighting equipment like a fire extinguisher. You can have the fireballs, you can have materials that are treated with fire retardant chemicals so that they don't burn fast. Have emergency exits in your home, in your office. When you build a house, let us not grill everywhere, so to an extent that the only exit is just the main door. So very important that we have emergency exits, and please share this with the children. Sometimes parents build these houses, and if they are lucky to put in the emergency exit, is at the time when they are still having, young children, and they forget to share this plan with the children. So they need to be knowing what are the emergency exits, and also have a plan as a family on emergency evacuation. Should something happen, then please have a plan so that the family knows what is the minimum thing or that we can carry with us. If it is not if it's not something very essential, then they will leave and be able to save their lives. They need to know that most important is to save themselves and not the property. So these are just simple tips that a family can have.
Kindly share with us the Red Cross numbers if you have them offered.
The number that we use, the emergency number, is 1199. 1199 is a toll-free number, and the Emergency Operations Center runs on 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a good day.